Hello, my name is Kezia Chumesi. I'm the Executive Director of Zizical Foundation.
And I'm Reverend Tony Carlton Chumisi, the Chairman of Zizical Foundation.
Our question for discussion is from Sally, and I read. My husband has refused to take up his responsibility as the man of the home all these years. Initially, he didn't have money, so I stood and supported the family, including taking care of him. And that has been the norm for all these 20 years. Now I see other men taking care of their wives, and I wish my husband would do same. But he's financially the same and not bothered about it. What do? I can't do it anymore.
Well, Sally, I empathize with you. I understand how you feel and what you are talking about. What I want to say is that women, be careful of the help that you want to give. Naturally, women are relationship-oriented, more relationship-oriented than men. Apart from that, you see, expectations change, visions change. So it's important that if you are also courting, preparing to marry a man, in your courtship, you should be able to identify what are the goals of the man, the short-term vision, the long-term vision. Where does the man want to end his life at, and see whether you fit in somewhere so that you can enjoy the marriage. Otherwise, when the time comes that expectations change, you may have to the same complaint as Sister Sally is having. So what I advocate is that the two of you sit and talk about it. I don't know whether you've talked about it and the man has refused to change, or the man has refused to look at other sources. What you need now is to see whether the man can have other sources to expand his income to be able to take care of the home. Because it's important that, you see, life is going ahead. It's becoming more and more expensive, and it will not change. Like Kwame Nkrumah said, it's forward ever. So life expenditure will continue to go up. Looking at the fact that maybe initially you were just two, now 2 or 3 children are there. You need to pay fees, health care, and all manner of issues. Paying utility bills and all these things, servicing your car and all this. Maybe initially you didn't have a car, now you have a car, or you have 2 cars, which needs to be serviced. So the man cannot just sit and expect that the same income should be able to take care of all these things. Maybe initially you lived in a chamber and hall self-contained, you've moved to a 2-bedroom house or a 3-bedroom house, or you've even built your house. You've built your house, but even maintaining the house is another level of expenditure. So we want to encourage you, talk to your husband. Let's find out if he can have other sources of income, and then you can venture into that. If he refuses, then maybe you seek counsel. Seek counsel and find out how you can handle it. Because I think the man is just being lazy. If the man was doing something and it even failed, the woman wouldn't complain because he knows the man is making an effort.
Trying.
But if the man is not making an effort and is just relaxed, it means the woman has pampered him too much. He has pampered, she has pampered him to the extent that he feels that the woman has enough. Yeah. So he doesn't need to do anything extra. But Mr. Husband, that is where you are wrong. You are the husband, you are the leader, you are the firstborn of God, and you are supposed to take care of the wife and take care of the family.
Thank you very much, Reverend. And I want to tell every wife out there, in as much as you want to help, you are called to support, not to lead your husband. Many a time is the wives that make the husbands irresponsible. So we are saying allow your husband to be the man of the home. His role, you only support him. If you have done this all 20 years, Mr. Husband, I'm telling you, even if she's not complain, her soul is bleeding. And that also tells me that the expectations are not discussed. Yeah. After 5 years in marriage, you realize he's not supporting you financially. What did you do? Did you sit down to re-examine your expectation, let him know this is what I expect from you, in case he didn't know? Many women initially thought, oh, the man doesn't have enough, let me support. And some men have taken undue advantage, and that has been the story. It's never supposed to be.
That's why it's important that before you even decide to marry any man, of course, you can't have a 100% guarantee that this man will progress from A to B. But at least in your courtship, the discussion, the vision, the things that the man says are very important that you take cognizance of it. What is the man's dream in 5 years' time, in 10 years' time? Where does he want to end in life? Then at least it gives you an idea that the man will move from step A to step B to step C. You understand? And then also I want to caution the women. as much as you have the money to support financially and say that, oh, the man is okay now, sometimes just hold back a little. Don't do too much. Some men take advantage of that.
Very, very
Some men
important.
are lazy. Some men are pure lazy. It is different from a man who is putting in effort and it doesn't work. He starts a business, he doesn't make mistakes, but circumstances lead to collapse and other things. That's a different thing. But where the man is just sitting, he doesn't care whether the children have pampers, he doesn't care whether there is no food at home because he knows that you support and everything. That it doesn't work like that. What our advice is that sit and talk. If you talk to him and still, maybe seek counsel, and then add prayer to it. It may not be just a relationship thing or just pure laziness. There may be a force. People usually say that as for us pastors, everything we take is spiritual. We are spiritual beings. We are tripartite beings. We are spiritual, we are emotional, and we are physical. So you cannot take care of emotional and physical and just leave spiritual. There may be a spiritual reason. I'm not saying that's the fact, but there may be. So add prayer to it. Add prayer to it. Add prayer to it. And let's see what God will reveal. And then we can take it from that. Very important.
Mr. Husband, we want you to understand that there are so many sources of income that God brings our way. So just living on your regular salary and saying it's not enough to take care of your wife and your children, it's not accepted. It's not acceptable. Your salary is one of the sources that God brings money into your life. Look for the other ways you can do to supplement what you get at the end of the month. Because you can't just be there whilst your wife takes care of even you and the children. Even if she doesn't complain her soul, she's getting depressed by the day. Now her eyes are open. And that's one mistake many men make. You married your wife, she was young. She didn't have a lot of needs. Now she's seeing how other men are taking care. Even some people who are lower than your ranks, lower than your position, are managing, taking care of their wives. Not having is not an excuse. Monies do not fall on trees. They are services we render. So why is it that you don't have? It means you are supposed to get something doing with your life as a man that you get. Some man can buy Holland for his wife. Another person can buy GTP. Another man can buy 80 or even high target. What is important is every wife is clothed. So for you not to do anything for your wife under the pretext that you don't have, I'm sorry to tell you, you are disappointing God.
Yes, we are not by any means discouraging women from contributing and supporting at home. What we are advocating for is that the woman can help to some extent, but the man must take his rightful place. You are the firstborn, and firstborn, you must take your rightful position. You must lead, all right? If the man is doing something and it's not going well, the woman will be happy that the man is making an effort. But by this complaint, I suspect that the woman sees the man as just lazy, not doing anything. Because once the man thinks the woman has enough, he feels that I don't need to do anything. So what we want to do is to encourage you, man. If you lack ideas, you can talk to any person who is well-groomed in entrepreneurial skills. And once the person has a chat with you, the person can tell you one or two ideas which you can market to earn extra income. We are not also saying that we are not encouraging women to compare husbands. Because two people can work in the same job, the same position, but their salaries or their incomes will be different because one may have some other sources. One might have made some old investments which are now yielding results. So the person may have a shop, he may have a mechanic shop, so when he closes duty, he may have a taxi, he may have other sources. So sit with your husband, Sally, and discuss, find out. If your husband is refusing to discuss, then there's a challenge there. That is where the problem is. But I'm sure that it's important that you also add some prayer, because there may be a spiritual underpinning to what the attitude of your husband. So it's important that you pray. Let's seek the face of God, the one who knows all things and sees all things, and bring us some revelation. If after that your husband is still the same, then we know that there's something wrong about it. But I'm sure when you add prayer, you also may be able to tell if there are any spiritual underpinnings. But apart from that, I would need you to talk to your husband. Use your woman power. Talk to your husband. Let him know that you are not too happy. You want him to take his role as a husband. So please put your heads together, sit, talk about it, and then let's see the leeway from this relationship.
Father, in the name of Jesus, I want to pray and thank you for the life of Sally and the husband. And for every other couple going through the situation, all we are asking for is that come through for them. Grant them the ideas they need, oh God, to generate income to support the home. Show yourself so much strong that they will know there is a God in heaven. That their lives and their marriage will be turned around and they will be able to give you the glory. In the name of Christ Jesus we have prayed. Amen.